Hey guys, so this is going to be a little bit different of a beginning to a video. Not so much farming related right now, but definitely something that I want to talk about. So, since we launched this whole thing, like we started our Instagram profile, we've got this YouTube channel up and running. I have struggled a little bit with it bringing to light some things that I didn't really quite understand was even like kind of laying dormant inside me. So I know this is kind of coming out of left field, but I want to put this out there and be authentic about it, because I think that if I say this out loud and I acknowledge it and I give it space to breathe, then I think that will help me and to like move forward through it. So one of the struggles I've been having with doing YouTube and doing Instagram is that I feel very passionately, almost to a fault, that I must be authentic. Like, it's as natural as breathing to me. I have to be who I am. And when you put yourself out there on YouTube or Instagram, the idea is kind of that you would like almost curate yourself or augment yourself to be who the viewers want you to be. That's going to get you more likes, that's going to get you more attention, more grab. It's going to pull people in and you garner followers as a result. If only you edit yourself to a degree. And I get that. Nobody wants to see somebody come out here and be like just completely negative and awful, and that's not, no one's gonna want to follow that, you know, and that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that line, that very thin line where you're just sort of giving the people what they want just enough. I struggle so hard with that, because it's so important to me to be authentic in who I am, even if sometimes it doesn't get me likes and follows or whatever, you know. I have been quite inconsistent with what I've been posting on Instagram and on YouTube, and I know that part of that is because I'm struggling with this question: why am I not consistent? Why can't I get this down? And I think the answer is because there's an element of inauthenticity to it, or that I've at least self-imposed put on this, that I struggle with, and I worry that people will be like disappointed with who I really am, and what I really have to offer out there as far as like content goes, and that forces me to be not always who I want to be. You know what I mean? Or who I think I am authentically. And I try to morph it into whatever I think maybe you guys want. So I'm just putting this out there because I know that I don't have to do that. I don't have to augment who I am. I don't have to give you the censored version of me. I can, maybe drop a cuss word or like, let you in on the dirty little secret that I listen to music with like bad language sometimes. I struggle with it because there's this like cookie cutter version of like, okay, you're supposed to be this way, this is what a lot of people like, you should probably get on board with that. I can't get on board with it. I just cannot. I've tried, but I struggle with it, and it makes me inconsistent. It makes me like, constantly agonize over, is this going to be good enough? Is this going to be the right thing for, y'all out there, that whatever you want to see today? Is it going to be the right thing tomorrow? What if I wait till next week? Will that be the better climate to do it? You know what I mean? So I'm just putting it out there that I'm not going to let this stop me anymore. This like self-imposed, self-doubt thing that I've got going on. It really is very, it's damaging, it's really damaging to look at what other people have, what they're doing, and then say like, I have to be exactly like that in order to be successful. Maybe not, but I want to be consistent, and then in order to do that, I'm going to go ahead and just be myself. So, that being said, I want to talk a little bit about the people that influenced me to start doing this. So, a couple of my I think probably my two biggest people that are like, they don't know they are, but they're champions in my corner. One is Justin Rhodes. That man is tireless, and he has driven his business so far and so well that he just makes me like stop in awe of what he's been able to accomplish with his family. He's got little kids. I've got 2 little kids. I think he's got 5 kids. And that man has just shown me the worth of this lifestyle, of a homesteading lifestyle, and then shown me also that like I don't have to settle for status quo. And that to me was like, whoa. I knew that, but really he lives it, and I think he's paved a way for others to live it too. So I'm so grateful for him that he's doing it in his own very authentic way. And you know, nobody says like, oh, I don't like Justin Rhodes because he's, you know, too whatever. Nothing. Nobody's saying that. He's just fantastic. He's very, very valuable in my life and in this whole journey of putting our best foot forward. The second one, and probably like the more emotional side of things, the more like, you know, poetic side of homesteading, is definitely Jessica Sowards at Roots and Refuge Farm. What she has done through her YouTube channel has presented incredible opportunities for me. I've met friends through her channel that I didn't realize would have, you know, we would know each other now for a couple years, and like it's all because we started talking in the comment section on a Roots and Refuge video. That's been really valuable to find online community, which is now morphed, since we're here in Tennessee, to actual community. Like there's a man just down the road who stopped by the other day. He saw our chickshaw and he was like, hey, are you guys homesteaders? And we were like, yeah, we are. Are you a homesteader? And he said, yeah, I'm a homesteader. So we started talking with him. He's got Mangalitsa pigs. He's got, you know, he's building chicken tractors to start his meat chickens and stuff like that. And he's asking us about Annie and our cow. And we both watch Justin Rhodes. We both watch Roots and Refuge. We're both kind of in this realm. And like, had it not been for those people, we never would have connected. So it's really just, we found friends and community where before there was none. And that was always hard for Matt and I, that we were young and raising a family and sharing a lot in common with people in proximity to us, but there was no community within that proximity. Like it was just, we just lived next to each other. We lived next to these families that were pretty much exactly like us. We never spoke to them, they never spoke to us, you know, that kind of deal. And that's hard. That's hard to live kind of in a vacuum. So we're very grateful to the YouTubers and influencers and Instagrammers who have brought forward like this mindset of like, we are not just, you know, doing the same things close to each other. We are doing the same things with each other, through each other, you know, helping each other out, and really truly building something that's you know, it's like I liken it to being like akin like to coming to somebody's table. You sit down at my table and I share a meal with you, and we're gonna get to know each other. And it's much the same way, even though we're not necessarily sitting at each other's tables. I might be at somebody's house helping them, you know, look over their cow or something because they're like, I'm not sure if she looks right. Okay, let's look her over together, and we build community that way too. It's just awesome. So the third part of this is just that I want to make it evident, and this is part of the whole, like, I want to be authentic and true to us, that I think I've been also caught up in this struggle of like, you have to have like a story plot when you do this. You have to have like a beginning character, a struggle, working through it, and then a resolution. And I I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not that kind of person. Like, I don't do very many things by the book. I don't do a whole lot of planning. It's just not my gig. That's why I married Matt. He's very good at planning, and I rely on him heavily for that. So I think my stories that I have to tell are much more like, well, I don't really know how this is gonna work out. I'm just gonna do it, and then maybe it'll work out. You know what I mean? There's not really like a clear delineation of how I'm gonna do something at any point in my, you know, homesteading style. I think Matt helps counteract that a little bit. Like, of course we needed fences, so he put up the fences. There was a problem, he worked on the fences, then we had fences, and that was the resolution. But like my garden, I talked to you guys about that last week, or last video, not last week, that was a long time ago. I was concerned that there was gonna be like a pesticide issue in the ground. Some people would say put in raised beds. Some people would say bring in topsoil. Some people would say, you know, you need to amend for 3 years before you even do anything. You need to get soil tests sent off, and you need to do all these things. I didn't do any of that. I said, you know what? I'm just going to order a bunch of compost. We ordered like 6 yards of compost, and we just lightly, very lightly tilled up the soil where we were going to put the compost down, because we wanted to kind of break up the crabgrass we have in our yard. And then we put like 6 to 8 inches of compost on top of that, kind of Charles Dowding style, except we did disturb the dirt a little bit. Mostly we disturbed the plants on top of the dirt, but once we did that, I planted directly into that compost, and my garden, man, it is jamming. It is doing so well. But the point of it is I did not do this with any kind of like, you know, caution. I just threw caution to the wind and just went ahead and did it. And so that's kind of my style, and I think I've hesitated a lot before because I feel like people are worriers, like, out there. There are people who worry about these things and are hesitant to make a move without even, you know, consulting somebody, an expert on something, to get like the answers of how this is going to happen. My style is a lot more like just plant it, see what happens. I don't know. I'm just going to experiment, you know. And I'm glad I did. I'm so glad I did. It could have been a disaster. It could have been ugly. Like, all my plants could be dead right now. But they're not, fortunately. So sometimes it works out for me. Sometimes my fly by the seat of my pants life just kind of like bites me in the butt. But I mean, as far as like homesteading goes, it's been fairly successful so far. So I'm okay with it. I'm okay with a little bit of like disorganization and chaos in the way that I homestead, and I hope that you guys are open to that, because that's what I got. So just to wrap that up, I want to be real with myself. I don't want to be constantly striving to feel that I'm worthy, because that's not healthy. I'm a type B person, and I'm just gonna own that as I go forward, I think. And I think that's okay, and there's space and room for that. And I'm really grateful for the people who have taken me along this journey with them vicariously through YouTube channels and through Instagram pages, and shown me that this is so possible, and this is so doable, and that I don't have to settle for the status quo, and that it's okay to be outside of society's box, and that sometimes you build community there. So anyways, I hope that this video, if you're watching it, is a little bit insightful. If you felt like, there's something off here, like Sarah's doing this, but it's kind of off. Like, well, that's what it is. It's off because I'm not being totally authentic, and I need to stop doing that. I just need to stop doing that. But if you have any like suggestions for me, or ideas of how like maybe you've overcome that or something, I would be really, really grateful to hear from you. This is not something I find easy to do, as far as like overcoming that feeling of like I need to be on par with these people, you know. The comparison game is not a good one. So yeah, drop me a comment, let me know what you think, or if you have any really good suggestions out there for how to like overcome this. If you've done it before, what was your journey like? How did you come through it on the other end? And how did you stay there? Because I struggle with staying there. I slide back all the time into like this, ugh, like it wasn't perfect, I can't do this, you know what I mean? So anyways, thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. I will be posting another homestead video update pretty quick here, so we'll see you soon. Thanks.